Hey, it's Brian from Pest Protection Plus. I've been battling pest problems in the GTA for over 35 years. If it creeps, crawls, or infests, I've probably dealt with it. And I'm here to help you do the same. In today's video, we're going to talk about occasional invaders, which is a term that we use to describe pests that live predominantly outdoors but will occasionally come inside and invade your home. We're talking about pill bugs, earwigs, centipedes, box elder bugs, some of the most common ones that we deal with. We're going to talk about their behaviors, what it is about our properties and our homes that they like, and things we can do to try to discourage their populations from impacting us. First up, we have pill bugs, also known as a roly-poly because they have a tendency to roll up into a ball when they're threatened. They're a small, dark gray bug. They have visual armor plates, it looks like, on their bodies. They're attracted to high levels of moisture because they're actually terrestrial crustaceans. They're like little land lobsters. They feed on organic matter that's decaying in the soil, in your leaf litter, mulch in your garden, anything that has a high moisture content and organic matter. That's where you're going to find pill bugs. When environment conditions start to change in the later summer, the fall, or it gets too dry or too wet, pill bugs will migrate indoors, and you'll find them in your basement. They'll be drawn to damp areas inside your home. Some things you can do to try to control pill bugs is to reduce that organic litter that's outside in your garden and try to keep your moisture content inside as low as possible using a dehumidifier in the basement so that they're not attracted to that environment. Next up, we have earwigs. Medium-sized bug, medium brown, long slender body with very distinctive pincers on their abdomen. They also feed on decaying organic matter in your garden, your compost, your leaf litter, but they don't need quite as high a moisture content as pill bugs. So you're going to find them in a lot of different areas than you would pill bugs. And their populations can really explode in the middle of the summer when the heat is high, and you can have literally hundreds and hundreds of earwigs showing up close to your foundation. Similarly with pill bugs, earwigs will move indoors when that environmental conditions change to the point where it's too dry, too wet, too cold, too hot. Then they'll start to migrate indoors. Again, things you can do to help limit the populations of earwigs is to try to reduce that organic clutter around your property, but particularly close to your house, so that if there are populations on your property, they're farther away from your home. Next up, we have box elder bugs. These little reddish and black bugs that feed on seeds and leaves of box elder trees, some maple and ash species as well. They don't do a lot of damage to the trees necessarily, except for sometimes young saplings, but their numbers can be alarming. Again, their populations can explode very quickly when the weather's warm. And they were drawn to dark surfaces where they can sun in the summertime, like the side of your house, shed, rocks, tree trunks. And when their numbers get really high, they can also be drawn indoors when the environmental conditions change. In the fall, when the weather starts to turn cool, box elder bugs are going to move indoors. Some things you can do to try to limit the impact of box elder bugs on your home is to reduce the amount of organic waste that's around your garden and to have as much of a border leading up to your foundation as possible that doesn't have any plant life, anything growing, so that you've got a barrier that stays dry and inhospitable to bugs. Finally, we're talking about centipedes, nature's natural born killer. Centipedes are predators. They will hunt down and eat insects wherever they find them. They will predominantly be outdoors, feeding on the populations that are thriving in the outdoors in the summer. But when those populations start to die off outside and move indoors, centipedes are going to follow them. Centipedes' body is very, very slender, but their legs are incredibly long, so they look a lot bigger than they actually are. And they're very fast. Kind of disturbing when you see them running at night across your basement floor. One of the main things you can do to control centipedes is to reduce the amount of prey insects that are around your property. So if you're seeing a lot of these insects on the outside of your property, some things you can be doing, like we discussed, reduce organic litter that's around your property, like leaf piles, dying and decaying plants, compost areas. Make sure those are all well maintained. Make sure the drainage on your property is good as well, so that everything is sloping away from your foundation to prevent moisture from building up close to your house. Make sure your downspouts extend at least 4 and preferably 6 feet away from your foundation, so all that rainwater from your roof is being directed away from your home. And also make sure doors, windows, and anything that's penetrating the outside of your walls is well sealed to prevent them from getting access inside. If you do start to see them on the inside, one of the main things you can do is to have a dehumidifier in your basement or any areas that are particularly damp, because the more you can reduce the moisture content in an environment, the less chance these insects are going to be attracted to that area. If, on the other hand, problems get to the point where you just can't deal with them, give us a call, because we'd be happy to help you with a treatment program. So to recap, we've talked about these insects' behavior. Pill bugs, they're small, dark gray, they're attracted to a high level of moisture. Earwigs that are medium brown colored, they got the pinchers on their rear ends, also in organic waste, but not quite as damp as pill bugs need. Box elder bugs, black and red, small to medium sized, feeding on trees and shrubs. And centipedes that hunt everything that's outside. Long, slender bodies with very long legs and very fast. Now that you understand a little bit about these pests and a little bit about measures you can take to control them, make sure you reduce the moisture outside your house, inside your house, by following those steps that we had talked about earlier. And that'll help to reduce those populations and hopefully reduce their impact on you and your life. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more helpful pest tips. Email or DM us any pictures of pests you want us to identify for free. We're happy to help. Email and links are in the description below.